3, 2, 1.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Oh, Joe!
Oh,
Oh, my God, the table and the computer just shook.
That is,
No one was mad that you cut the whole... You can go anywhere.
What do I do with that?
Yeah, and the Macho Madness and the Hulkamania.
On top of that, you're the best wrestler of all time. So I absolutely adore you.
For being the cream of the crop, yeah.
Let's go!
Fucking idiot, you have no idea what you're talking about.
God.
They were saying Sony apparently said that the PlayStation 5. You suckers! Is that the end of it?
Or every pixel of the game engine into the face. Can't say
That Dallas.
What did
You know, when that's like part of my Christmas.
Oh, welcome back to the Break Room Podcast. It's just the two of us, two chickens. It was inclement weather for Joe Clement.
Inclemente.
Inclemente for Joe Clemente. And Vince visiting his mom for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to Vince's mom. She's a very sweet lady.
It'll be a lower energy
We're,
show today, right?
it's just going to be, we're going to be half the show we normally are because we have half the people here. But we got the real life Peter Griffin and the GTA valet here, so.
Just another day in life.
Could be worse. Hey guys, it's real life Peter Griffin.
And Joey.
And we got Joey. We got a little Joey Katana here. He's just chilling between us here. I'll bring him up for the show. Good boy. There he is. There's a little star boy. So here's some funny news. You know how they just had like the Met Gala?
Yeah.
So there was like a smaller version, I guess you could call it, called the People's Ball. And Mandy took Joey to that. And this like Hindu Times thought that the pictures from the People's Ball were the Met Gala. So there's like a front page like article, like some Hindu article with Joey on it saying the Met Gala with Mandy holding him, dressed like Princess Leia.
Oh my God.
And he's dressed like Grogu.
Yeah, the international audiences didn't understand the.
I didn't understand the event that Joey was at, but Joey got some free press, and
He's a good boy.
boy.
He's finally he opened up to me. He's usually kind of guardedly, he's probably half blind, so when he sees
He's
a hand
also
coming
got the
towards him.
olds, he's just not as spry as he used to. He's 15.
Yeah.
We actually had a quinceañera for him. It was Batman themed. It was very cute. He had his little. Mandy bought him one of those cars that you can like remote control, but put a kid in, and like it's black, so it looks like a Batmobile. So we had driven him around like last year in it, and we put it in the middle of the living room, and I got some balloons that said 15. I put it in the hood of the car, and we had some balloons and shit. And nice little party for the Joe Monster. 15 years of Joe.
So he finally warmed up to me because I brought some Taco Bell over, and he loved the smell. I mean, I've never seen this dog move so much in his bed as him trying to just sit up so that he could smell.
He's
and
like
beg for Taco
Grandmaster
Bell.
Pycelle. Like,
Yeah,
he feigns this feeble oldness, but then you catch him like humping his Batman, like Master Pycelle was caught with the whore. And
Lannister, I've always served House Lannister. Ask your sister.
there was a deleted scene where like Pycelle actually drops the act.
Oh yeah, well Tywin's fishing down by like the river there, and Pycelle comes over all doddering and old, and Tywin he's like, "When are you gonna drop this gimmick? Do you really think that I don't see right through this shit?" And then he stands up straight and he's like, "I have served for," and all of a sudden he's not weak anymore. It's all an act.
Oh yeah.
What does he say? He has a good line in that though. He says, all the roses in the garden, I don't want to be the highest. I just want to get some sun or something along the lines. It was a cool line.
Yeah. No,
And then it wasn't in the show. I'm surprised they kept it out.
Yeah, and it was really funny because one of the actual first convention I ever went to, I met him. I met Julian Glover. This was long before Game of Thrones or anything.
Yeah.
As I knew him
Because he was in
from
Star Wars.
and Indiana Jones.
Right.
So he was the main bad guy, I guess, or one of the main bad guys in The Last Crusade. He's the one that, if you ever hear me and Vin go back and forth with Sean Connery quotes, he's like the one. He plays the one that Sean Connery's saying, "I knew you'd shell your mother for a Ming Vaj. Never thought you'd shell your country and your soul to the slime of humanity."
You know, speaking of Indiana Jones, though, we're going to be talking a bunch of video games. Have you gotten around to playing that? Are you going to beat Assassin's Creed and then get to Indiana?
I'm gonna finish Assassin's Creed because I know once I get back into indie mode, I'm not gonna want to play anything else.
They did a really good job with that villain. Like
I might even hold off a little bit more on indie. I want to because I just played it and it's still fresh to me. I kind of want to go and I don't know, maybe play Oblivion. I was thinking of playing Oblivion.
Dude, I actually...
No, I don't know. I'm assuming I should probably just get it on PlayStation 5. That's probably the best way.
I mean, so I'm playing on PC, and it looks phenomenal, but it is a bit of a pain in the ass. There's, between the constant updates for the driver or for Windows or for Xbox or for the game itself, and then you update it, and the game doesn't work anymore, so you got to delete the game and reinstall it, and then it turns out... I did find out that there was some old driver that I had to install to make it work because it would crash every 30 minutes. So there's some maintenance with playing it on the PC, but it looks absolutely incredible with my rig there. But yeah, I mean, it's probably
not gonna look the
off.
same on my LG C4 television. It's gonna look better on the PlayStation for me because if I'm gonna play it on the PC, it's gonna be on my monitors and there's gonna be some quality loss there.
Can you? Yours doesn't do 4K, your PC setup? We went through all this.
It's this whole thing, yeah. Because it was the same headache I went through to play Indiana Jones. I kind of just grinned and bared it. But honestly, for the rig that I have, to start playing really next level games, I'm going to have to build a new PC. Or at least start upgrading some of the shit on my current one.
It is a great feeling to be able. I mean, Cyberpunk looked incredible. Oblivion looks phenomenal.
Well, it's also the Wild West again for PC parts, so I'm not looking to spend $4,000 on another computer. I'm just
GPUs are apparently getting cheaper now. I don't really understand. If Vin was here, he's our local tech expert. He'd be able to explain it. But I don't know if it was who makes all the GPUs, NVIDIA. Or if it was AMD, but one of them came out with a new GPU that uses AI, and it was a fraction of the price of what they used
China
to be.
came out with some kind of crazy shit.
It might have been them, yeah. Well, you're talking about just the AI in general that they
not just the AI,
what do
but
they call it?
I think they're coming out with their own
Blue?
Intel kind of thing, their own processor.
Yeah, I mean, I would say just get it on the PlayStation at this point. But if you're gonna play anything next. Because we're going to be talking about GTA, and one of the questions I guess I had was, now that we know we have 1 year for GTA or so, was it May 26th, May 27th, 2026? And you could, by the way, you could watch the whole breakdown of the GTA 6 trailer. Me and Vin dissected it and performed an autopsy frame by frame on this trailer. Yeah, so we really picked this thing apart. And you know what? It was actually a helpful exercise because I watched it on my own 10 to 20 times, and there are still things that I didn't pick up until Vin was like, oh, look, there's a raccoon in the trash can. Just small little details that one of the other of us missed. So,
I mean, that the water technology inside the beer bottles, when he's walking out of the convenience store.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
But we'll get to GTA. What I wanted to ask was, now that we know we have 1 year, what are 5 games on your list of what you want to play that have been in your backlog that you haven't been able to play? What are the next 5 games you play before GTA comes out?
Well, I'm going to finish Assassin's Creed. I don't know if that counts. I mean,
You're
I pretty much got
through
through
that, so we won't
the
count that
story, but I'm still doing some cleanup work. I still have at least 10 more hours worth of gameplay.
Yeah, we won't count that.
I'm definitely going to be playing Indiana Jones because I already scooped that. I'm going to play Oblivion. I know I'm going to play Oblivion. I'm interested to check out Gears of War whenever that drops because I actually never played Gears of War, so I've been wanting to play it because I heard that it's really good with a co-op, if you're playing with another friend. So
I wish Joe and Vin were here because they would probably start. They would already start,
ripping your
nailing
fucking
putting the nails through the palms.
You have to
and
put the
stringing
poo
me
on
up.
everything that's not to your.
You see, but it's not even that. It's just all I have to do is say, "Yeah, fuck that game. It sucks," and it could end there.
It's a
but
string of verbiage.
All of a sudden, it's because I don't like it. it's like
And
we
then
have
they're
to.
crucifying you.
Yeah,
It's
we
not-
have to have the
it's
whole
not
crucifixion.
sweet enough.
Yeah.
Gears of War is not sweet enough.
I was never a fan of
gross.
it. I thought the game character models look weird. It's like they're not human shaped. It's like this big weird
it's like
monkey guy.
It's a stylistic thing.
Yeah, it's Unreal Engine. It's more Unreal Engine, which I will say the Unreal Engine has gotten better.
Did you hate Borderlands?
No, I never hated Borderlands, but here's the thing. Borderlands is exactly what I think the Unreal should be made in the Unreal Engine. Let me reverse. Like I was going to say, the Unreal Engine nowadays looks incredible. I mean, like there have been a lot of good games like RoboCop. I'm coming around on the Unreal Engine, but for a very long time I refused. I just hate the way that the Unreal Engine looks, whether it's Prominence Poker or freaking Gears of War, or there's a lot of games that have
You
been
just
made.
don't like the stylistic cartoony thing.
Yes, but Borderlands was my exception because they had the cell
so that's
shading.
why you prefer like ESO as opposed to like World of Warcraft.
Is World of Warcraft
is a
also
little bit
Unreal?
More cartoony than no, it's not Unreal, but I'm talking about like graphically, it's a little more cartoony. It doesn't look so.
ESO is a
based in
more
realism.
cartoony version. Like if you compare it to like Skyrim and Oblivion, ESO is a little cartoony looking, but it had to be. I can make exceptions. Like World of Warcraft is such a large map. It's such a huge game that like you can't have everything looking
And
super
granted,
high
it does
def real.
look good. Granted.
Yeah,
if
it
you
has
look
its
at
moments,
From
I'm
its
sure.
like from mountaintops looking down and shit, and especially with the flying, you can fly anywhere now in the game.
Fly?
So, yeah.
And really, how does that work?
So they're flying. So they've changed over the years. They used to have it that there was no flying. Then there was no flying in the Eastern Kingdoms, but you could fly in Northrend. That was when I was playing. When
Do
the
you need
Lich
like an
King came
item to
out.
fly?
So you have to learn the skill, and it's you can learn it once you hit a certain level. You go to a trainer, and then you literally just buy the ability.
Can you levitate? You just like float?
Oh, well, it used to be like that you would just levitate. Now there's actual flight system where there's moves that you can do on the mount that you can speed yourself up or do loops and spin and shit. And it's universal now. Like once you finish the expansion and shit like that, they let you fly anywhere.
Interesting. I thought you had it because I was asking you for it. I have mine, but he doesn't want this. Okay, so anyway, that's what we're talking. The Unreal Engine, Borderlands. Fuck the Unreal Engine. Fuck Gears of War. I never
can't say
liked
fuck
it.
the Unreal Engine. I think that
I'm
it
coming around
served
on
its time, and I think that we're ready for the next thing. I think that's really what it comes down to.
Well, I was afraid of like a world where all games are being made in the Unreal Engine because that's kind of happening. But on the flip side, it's allowing developers to create games without having to just totally reinvent the wheel every single time. I mean, that RoboCop game was like a very under the radar, came out quick. It was a solid ass game. I didn't finish
Very
it.
good game.
Did you beat it?
Yes, I did.
I didn't beat it, so I guess we'll put one on my list there. We'll try to get back to RoboCop. So you said Oblivion.
I was originally going to check out that Sun Wukong game, but then I found out that it's like a Souls game. I'm not really.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm not,
I don't
We're
have
not
the
cut out
patience
for
to
that
have
shit.
like 45-minute boss battles where if you fuck up once, you got to redo the whole thing. I'm not about that. I'm very much I'm a film buff. So because I like film, I like the story-driven games. I like feeling like, to me, it's like being in the movie. It's like you're affecting the outcome of the movie. And that's why I enjoy the Assassin's Creed games or the Uncharted games or games of that kind of, because I know that you and Joe and even Vin are more heavy into the like Halo and team battle and like Crucible
first
kind
person,
of shit.
third
And
person shooter.
I'm really not into that kind of shit. I mean, I'll do it, I'll for the camaraderie of it all. I got sucked into Fortnite because they put Peter Griffin in the fucking game, so I was kind of obligated to do it. But
And now they have Fortnite's doing like a Star Wars May the 4th
I did
theme
actually play a couple of rounds, and it's pretty decent. They got the Han Solo blaster and the Stormtrooper blaster again.
Not just the blasters, they have like TIE fighters and A-Wings fighting in the sky or something, it looked like.
Oh, that I didn't even see.
Yeah. Apparently, they added, and fuck Fortnite, but they added like it looked pretty cool. It looked
Battle
like they're
Pass
having
is
space
the Emperor.
battles.
That's all I'm saying.
I would love to play as the Emperor, but so all the shit.
You know what'd be amazing though? Playing as the Emperor with Yoda as your backpack.
Oh, that would be funny.
That would be the most.
He doesn't
amazing.
talk anymore though. The backpack, right?
Yes, he does.
Oh, he does.
They patched it. What was happening was people with the Yoda backpack were doing a certain emote that had come out, and it was crashing the entire game. So they did temporarily disabled the emote that Yoda did, and just made it. I think they made him unavailable for a little bit, and then they reintroduced him back into the game before the end of that season. And they kind of patched whatever the hell was going on. But it's so funny because every time you get like a health or whatever, he goes.
For the short while that I played with you because of Peter Griffin coming out, there was some funny moments in Fortnite, but it's another. Is it an Unreal Engine game?
Yes,
Epic
it is.
Games, yeah.
Well, Epic Games
that
does use the
animated
Unreal.
style. I hate the look of it. But okay, so let's get back to the 5 games that we're gonna play before GTA comes out. So you said Oblivion, you said Indiana Jones, which are both on my list. I'm already playing Oblivion, so I'm not gonna count it.
Definitely the next Ghost of Tsushima.
When's that coming?
Iki Island, I believe it's called. Oh no, Iki Island was the DLC that came out for Ghost of Tsushima. I forget the name of the next one, but that's supposed to be coming out this year.
And you got Snake Eater coming out.
Snake Eater, I'll probably
Metal
play
Gear
that,
Delta, Snake Eater.
even though we just.
But playing that
Played
in the high definition and the level of detail and how they're going to improve everything, Metal Gear is going to be absolutely insane. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'd say the most now this year, more than any other game, since GTA is next year. For 2025, that is right there number one. Playing Metal Gear, Snake Eater again. I know like Vin never played it. There's a lot of people who never got to play Metal Gear 3 Snake Eater. Highly recommend it. Phenomenal story. It's like a Cold War. It's the origins of like where the clones for Metal Gear come from. This precedes Gulukovich and the Russians. I mean, if you never played any of the Metal Gears, it's a good one to start with because the whole concept of Metal Gear is you play as Solid Snake, who is a clone, and you're fighting your brother Liquid Snake, who is another clone. You got the dominant genes, he got the recessive genes, so he has blonde hair, blue eyes, but otherwise you look exactly the same. And brother, it's been a long time, brother.
I've been
waiting for this. He always like clutches his. I've been
It's the arm talking.
waiting.
It's not
Yeah,
him,
yeah,
It's the arm.
yeah. So I mean, they were cloned off of a guy called Big Boss, and in this game you play as Big Boss. So you're the original Snake.
That's dropping in August. That'll be on August 28th.
August 28th. I'm very much looking forward to that. What else? What else do we have in the back catalog?
Are you planning on playing Borderlands 4 on September 12th?
September? Hey, I mean, if there's nothing really out, I'll probably have sated myself with Metal Gear. The Borderlands games were always... Actually, I mean, I started with Borderlands 2, and I love that game.
It's
I mean,
funny. I started with Borderlands 1, liked Borderlands 1 a lot, and didn't like Borderlands 2.
Oh, I mean, 2 was like... But a lot of us played together back in the day. Be like me, Reggie, Little Joe, Vin, like the group would play Borderlands, and like when you're fighting a boss, whatever, when you're picking up the guns, like Borderlands nails the feeling that you want when you find loot in a video game. Because when you get like a sick, and they had so many guns, like they have so many combinations and permutations of weapons in that game, and they keep adding more and more. But like a lot of the weapons are truly unique. And man, I remember like the first time I picked up this pistol that had unlimited ammo, and it had it was like an infinity sign, and the barrel was like an infinity sign, and it would spin and it would shoot out the bullets.
That's cool.
And it shot out acid bullets. And this thing was so OP. Like it was, you go on such a wild ride with that weapon, but you keep leveling up. So like those weapons become, lower level and obsolete, so
I think
you
it
got
was
to
more
keep
so that I
finding more.
couldn't play as the guy that I played in the first one.
They change it up every time, but I played as the Psycho in 2, which was like a DLC. He wasn't in the original, but they added one of the Psychos, like the crazy dudes with the masks.
Yeah.
And man, we had so much fun playing Borderlands 2. Borderlands 3 came out, and I think Red Dead Redemption came out like a month later. So it just totally got forgotten, and just it was like a non-starter, and it was really just because it was. I'm pretty certain, maybe somebody in the comments there. I see Hells and Dungeoner here. When did Borderlands 3 come out? And then when did Red Dead Redemption come out? And if it wasn't that, it was some other game came out that just totally made Borderlands. Nobody played it anymore. So it's tough, because then they came out with DLC, and then they didn't really play that.
Ghost of Yotai, and that's coming out October 2nd.
October.
That's the other one. Yeah, so that's going to be like my birthday, around my birthday.
When does Borderlands come out again?
Borderlands comes out in September.
So you got August, September, October, all have a game that you want to get.
Interestingly enough, on this website anyway, for GameSpot, there's nothing announced for November or December. So I don't even know if I can come up with a list of 5 games that I personally know off the top of my head that I'm going to be playing. I mean, I'm pretty spontaneous with shit too, because sometimes friends will tell me about stuff, or I'll get peer pressured by the group to start playing some shit.
Yeah.
I'm definitely I'm not gonna get the next the one that just came out, the Monster Hunter, even though I played like the last 3 iterations.
I hope little Joe and John are listening when you say Monster Hunter again.
Monster Hunter. I'm not gonna play it. So, I wouldn't. You never played it.
Fuck it. I
You
played
never
it.
fucking played it.
I seen
You can't
it.
even.
That's why. It
You
looks
just
like
hate
shit.
everything that's Japanese.
That's not true.
That's true.
I like sushi.
Absolutely true. I'm just talking about like media.
I like slurp ramen. No, that's not true either. I mean,
What anime do you like?
Pokemon.
That doesn't count.
Why not?
Because
It's
it started
Japanese.
as a card game.
Okay, but
The anime is supplemental.
It still counts.
Because what are you gonna call it, a video game too? Because it's a video game. It was a video game.
Cards are a
anime.
form of media. One
It
could
started
argue.
as a card, and then it became a video game, and then it became a cartoon.
Yeah, it became a whole Goliath.
It's a conglomerate.
So there's one thing though. At least Pokemon, Monster Hunter. So how about this? Are there any games that you bought that are in your catalog that you didn't get to play? So, I mean, I have plenty of the Pokemon games.
There's a bunch of Switch games.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
haven't even touched.
Pokemon. I haven't played. What was the other one that came out on Switch?
never played the
Zeldas.
Zelda
I haven't played the
games.
Zelda games.
Yeah, those are great.
I also bought Sid Meier's Civilization. I don't know what it is now. 7, the latest one.
I still never
just
played
came
the
out.
fucking Zelda game that you play as Zelda. That came out.
Yeah.
I never got to play that one either.
I
It's sitting in
couldn't
my
tell you.
system too. It's abysmal. I mean, I even have the Paper Mario game that came out like a few years back.
I played that. The Paper Mario games are phenomenal.
Yeah, I didn't play that.
Phenomenal. Very good.
It's like
Itchy nose.
every time I buy a game on the Switch, something better comes out on PlayStation. And I just never touched the fucking. I realized like after like 6 months, I didn't even have my Switch connected to the television. Since I switched out
dude.
to the C4, I didn't even have it connected.
I didn't even have my Switch
I didn't
plugged
even
in.
notice it.
I didn't even have my controllers on the Switch charging.
I noticed it because I went to Mandy's house and she wanted to play Mario Party and shit with her friends that came over, and I needed the extra Joy-Con. So instead of taking the whole, and we needed the dock too. So I was taking it apart. I was like, this isn't even fucking connected to the TV.
What did you think about the Switch 2?
It's, I think it's going to be another Wii U. It's like the Wii was semi-successful. The Wii U was absolutely not successful. The Switch was kind of successful. I don't think the Switch 2 is going to be as successful as Nintendo hopes it's going to be. I think that it's a cop-out for them to go Switch 2 when they pride themselves on being the, come out with something new every time we come out with a system. This is the first time in the history of Nintendo that they've had a 2 to a system. Every system has had its own unique name. Even if you want to argue that the Wii and the Wii U almost have the same name, but it's not Wii 2.
Right. Well, you had
You know what I
NES,
mean?
SNES.
Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. None of them are Nintendo 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? It's not like PlayStation.
Am I missing something between?
There was no Game Boy 2. There was Game Boy. There was Game Boy Color. There was Game Boy Advance.
I mean, you are right. So there was NES, SNES,
And
64. There wasn't something?
GameCube,
Okay, yeah. All right.
Wii U, Virtual Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. Was it the SP?
There's like the 3D one too, right? You like
There
put
was a
this thing over it,
3DS.
and it would go. Well, there was that too.
That was
3DS.
it. That was the 3DS, which is DS.
They were
There's no
also
DS2.
they were always big on selling like I want to say like adapters, but like what's the word for it? You know, it's like they had different like you can get a wheel thing you could put the controllers in, and now it's a wheel, or you could
That kind of stuff is
Game
all
Genie
right,
and-
but I just it only lends itself to Nintendo games because I feel like they're the ones that do like the virtual kind of control kind of shit. They're the ones with like the Mario Kart and stuff like that. I feel like when you're playing something like what Vin plays, what's the racing game he's always playing?
Forza?
Yeah,
Does
Forza
he play
or one of those.
not Midnight Club. What's the other one? My barber plays it too.
Fuck.
The like the racing simulator.
Yeah, but
Gran
like
Turismo.
Gran Turismo. Yeah. So unless you're playing on like a PC or something like that, the wheel really isn't like.
I would really love though if I could play Grand Theft Auto with a steering wheel. Like that would be an incredible feeling, and I don't know how it's not been done yet, and how it's not.
It'd be wild. It'd be a wild system.
Pedals and everything.
If they had like you can do that with the pedals and shit. But then there's like a
gun.
fucking holster. where
A
you
gun,
can
yeah,
pull the
yeah,
gun out
exactly.
and then control your character with like a thumbstick on the handle of the gun.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they had something very similar to that with the Wii. That was one thing that they really excelled with was when they implemented it right. There was a gun that you can put the Wiimote and the control into, and it made it into a fucking handgun.
Yeah.
And then it fucking had like great response. That's why I like playing Force Unleashed the best on there too, because you actually felt like you're using the Force. That the lightsaber in one hand and it's moving around the way I want it to move, and I'm hitting the Force with the nunchuck and shit. So, that's why it's a shame that they weren't able to really perfect that technology and get it to the next level and kind of just abandoned it. I get why they did. A lot of people didn't want to have to exercise along with their games, but for the people that were enjoying that shit, it was nice to have the option.
Yeah, we do have a bunch of people in the house here. Hells, Selig, and there's some comments here. So what do we got here? Very much enjoyed the trailer breakdown. Thank you for that, Hells. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties. We wanted that to be out earlier, but it was just issue after issue. But it was fun to break that down, like we said, and Rob and I are also going to talk about that in a bit. Borderlands 3 was 2019, September. When did Red Dead come out? It was before 2019.
Way before that.
So something came out after Borderlands 3 that just October 2018 is what Hell said. Something came out after Borderlands 3 that just everybody stopped playing it. Switch 2 looks poorly designed and underwhelming, according to Hells. Those
Especially for the pricing, you know what I mean? It's just an underwhelming upgrade.
Yeah.
It's a PlayStation 4 Pro or 5 Pro.
But they've already even done multiple versions of the Switch, where it's like the LED version.
OLED, yeah. and all that
Yeah.
shit. I thought that it should. If you ask me, when the Switch came out, it should have been what this system is now, and it should have been with an OLED screen, no matter what. But
That
then
would be so
I
pricey.
never.
Back then, too, that would have been really pricey.
I would have never. I don't play it in my hands anyway. I don't like the handheld experience anymore. When I was a kid, it was fine with Game Boy, but
Yeah.
I like playing on my TV. I have a nice fucking TV. It's very crisp, and I like being able to see what the fuck I'm doing. I don't get the same experience out of playing on a little screen,
Yeah.
It's fine with the Portal when I'm like away or if, like I'm taking a shit. But like if I want to like have like that experience where I'm like, playing a game, I like to be fully immersed into it. I don't get that experience unless I'm playing it on a big ass TV.
Yeah. No, I mean, and the graphics are also scaled down when it's handheld. They're not like full definition.
Yeah.
So I agree. I never really played my Switch because also, when you're just sitting there holding something like that, unless it's like the Game Boy was like holding your phone or a Game Boy, you're holding this, it's like one hand or like it's your arms are here. But when you're playing the Switch, handheld, it's like this, and then holding your arms like this for a while, and then it's like then you're like this, and it just, I don't know, maybe I'm getting old, but
I guess they're also
makes
not
me
expecting
achy.
you to be playing games for 8-9 hours on a binge, but
should be.
you're not supposed to be. But we do it anyway
what-
because that's what we enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So a lot of people sit there and watch fucking television for just as long. We would rather be doing something while watching that.
Yeah. I wish there were better gun-like controllers, and I think that they just don't want to do it because it's too suggestive or something. Like they don't want to sell.
That's bullshit.
I don't know. It's just, how have they not made a controller where like the R2 is like the trigger of the gun or something like that? And that, like, I don't know how they can't make a gun controller where you can, feel like you're
I
at
feel
least
like a lot of
shooting
the
somebody.
technology's been put into these controllers now that they don't want to start trying to sell you on third-party shit. They even tried it with the fucking VR set, and I'm sure that the sales plummeted from PS4 to PS5 VR because the
games?
options, number one,
It's like Skyrim.
are
What other games are
abysmal.
there?
They really dropped the ball with the VR thing because it had the potential to have a lot more. I mean, the one thing that I enjoyed on it was that harmonics game that was on the PS4. You could put your own music onto a drive, and it created like kaleidoscope fucking trip out like experiences that reacted to your music, or you could like had like little like there was like what they called the beach, where there was different visualizations and it were almost like akin to like the screensavers on the Microsoft computers back in the day, like that kind of thing where you just and it's to your music and shit. So
I always wanted to play Beat Saber.
Beat Saber is interesting. That's another one that's a fucking workout.
Yeah, I bet.
Mandy's got that one.
Yeah, I always wanted to try that. I remember I did like a VR demo at GameStop like 5 years ago. Like it was a while ago. They had like a VR booth where you could try it out. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this shit. It was like, what's the big one on PC? Like the VR headset.
The Valve Index?
It was before the Valve Index. That's like a newer one. Who's the main
Oculus?
I think it was an Oculus.
That was the Facebook one.
Yeah. So, but I tried
That's
this
the one
game.
I actually tried. I went to a Best Buy.
Yeah, and it was an incredible experience because I had the controller, but then with the headset on, like I had a gun, and it felt real. And then with my other hand, actually my left, you had a shield, and like you're moving your hand and you're seeing like in real time like the shit moving with it. And it felt so real. And then like the little droid thing started shooting me, and like I actually had like an instinctive reaction, like, oh shit, and like put the shield up and blocked it. I was like, oh my God, that was like, and then then I'm shooting, and then like there's a guy behind me, and I like dropped down, and the thing went over me, and then like I realized you could jump, and then the guy at GameStop's like, wow, you're really getting this. I literally jumped over a freaking like bolt that was shot, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then like I just feel like nothing has ever happened. And imagine GTA had the VR capability.
Oh yeah.
That would be so bad.
That would be insane.
Everyone's talking about the jiggle physics.
Jiggle physics. Psst, the fucking girlfriend in that game.
Lucia.
Everything.
She's
everything.
piece of work.
God, Jesus.
Yeah.
I almost didn't notice anything in the trailer when she showed up.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like
that's
try to maintain focus on anything else.
that's the first time I will admit that a video game character chick looks hot. She looks
good.
fucking hot.
Who
Yeah.
would you take, her or Rogue?
I mean, before playing this, I'd say Rogue, but after playing GTA, we're all gonna fall in love with her.
Absolutely.
And Jason, we're gonna fall in love with Jason too, just like we fall in love with Arthur and Nico Bellic and these characters. So that was the thing that was different about the GTA 5 story, is I didn't really fall in love with any of those three guys. Like they were all cool or funny or interesting in their own way.
Yeah, I get that.
But I didn't feel like I love Franklin, I love Trevor, or I love Michael. Like whereas Nico.
Like Trevor's funny as fuck.
He's
but I
funny,
love
but
him,
yeah, exactly. But there's like just not a strong attachment because it was broken up between the three. But Arthur Morgan, when he dies in Red Dead, spoilers, I cried when John died
That was
in
rough.
the first
when they
Red
start
Dead.
playing the fucking music, he falls off his fucking horse.
May
Oh my
I-
God.
It's like a chorus. Stand unshaken. Yeah, that shit was freaking.
Man, Arthur Morgan.
That game was nuts, and you grow so attached. Nico like experiences so many ups and downs, and he's funny and he's badass, and like he experiences just hardships, and you fall in love with him. Tommy Vercetti, like all those characters.
I can't wait to see people getting attacked by animals. You know it's gonna happen.
Oh my god!
You know it's gonna be like alligators, like eating crackheads and shit.
Yeah. Or like some guy sticking his head in an alligator's open mouth and it clamping down on him. Like there's gonna be so much goofy shit. We can actually pull it up here, and this is what we did. Let me see if I can get this right. There is a website, and apologies to those who already watched the trailer breakdown, but this is very important for people to know. Rockstar.com, Rockstar Games. By the way, I could hardly see this shit. Games.com/6. Well, is he dreaming? He's having a dream. He's crying. All right.
Yeah, he falls asleep and then he gurgles. That's his thing.
It's taking a minute to load here, but there is if you go to rockstargames.com/6, look how cool this shit is. Oh, look at this. It's not animated like it was.
Oh, it was animated, yeah.
It's going slower here now. They like removed all the crazy animations.
Yeah, probably because people couldn't get on the site.
Yeah. But it gives you all of the additional context of the game. So they introduced the main characters and the secondary characters and some tertiary characters and kind of tell you who everybody is. And then they actually show you parts of the map. So like there's different, zones, if you will. You have Vice City. You could explore Vice City and see like this area. And the pictures are just absolutely nuts. I mean, look at that dude's kneecaps. Look at her kneecaps. Look at that ass.
I'm just looking at the ass.
Yeah, well, that's why everybody is. Even the guy with the freaking binoculars.
Yeah.
But like, look at their feet. How the sand is sticking to their feet.
I mean, just the fact that like he's got like 3 different skin tones.
Yeah, look at his like his burn or tan marks, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
and I noticed that a lot of people have like tan marks or whatever, tan lines, if you will. But yeah, there's a lot of pictures and additional context here, and
strip clubs are gonna go nuts.
I mean, yeah, you could see there's some crazy stuff. So then they introduce a couple of more characters, and then they'll show you another area of the map, Leonida Keys. So this is like the tropical area. So yeah, I recommend checking out the site. Me and Vince spoke about this, but I remember when Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out, the original Vice City. And they released it with a website like this, and it was interactive, and like you could sample and listen to some of the radio stations.
Go back up to my girl. There she is.
Oh yeah. So she's obviously a badass too.
That's what makes her hot, though.
She's a fighter. Apparently, gets out of jail on like a clerical error. God, she looks great.
You know what the voice actress looks like her?
People keep posting pictures and saying like this is the one, this is who she is. But yeah, there's a lot of info to be found on here. Look at this guy.
Like
you're gonna love this guy. No, he looks like fucking Antonio Banderas. God damn it.
Not with that one picture right there.
I thought he looked like Jeff Goldblum here.
No,
Kind of looks like Jeff Goldblum. Right in this picture, like he even has the facial expression of Jeff Goldblum.
No.
So yeah, definitely worth. Look, dude, this picture blew me away.
It looks like a real person.
Looks like a real person. Like he actually almost looks like a video game character in the background.
Yeah, but like the arm hair,
the arm hair,
the lighting,
the glasses. Everybody knows a guy that looks like this.
Yeah.
Like I've seen this guy like 6 times
you
today.
Know who this guy voted for?
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely has a bumper sticker for somebody. But yeah, I wanted to mention that site. It's pretty cool. We're definitely bouncing around between different games here, but
GTA, I mean that's the big news, It was dropped on us kind of like a toxic relationship. It's like
cuz they announced the delay.
I'm letting you down again, but I'm going to buy back your loyalty.
Yeah.
With just enough crumb of a relationship. Just that enough love to keep you hanging.
They had to mollify the mad masses, and I think that they did when everyone saw
It's
the
like
trailer.
missing your anniversary, but then giving you a car.
Yeah, yeah. When we saw the trailer, we were all like, okay, take as much time as you need. You know, definitely a very toxic relationship, but I'm just not thinking about it. You know, I don't let myself think about it.
Well,
otherwise
that's the
I'll go
thing. It's like
crazy.
you drive yourself nuts. They announce these things so fucking far in advance that it becomes so like you're gonna give yourself blue balls. Fucking waiting a year plus 2, 3. I mean, when they announced the fucking Wolverine game, I was flipping out. I'm like, how long do we have to wait for that shit?
Is that announced or leaked?
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know if they officially.
Oh, they
announced
announced it. There was
Did
like
they?
a thing, and then like it just never went anywhere.
Hmm.
And I'm like, when the fuck am I getting my Wolverine game? I want another like destructive Hulk game.
They're saying that apparently GTA 5 might have like a higher level of destruction to the environment and to buildings. And then like you'll see like road crews repairing, you know, like if you dropped a grenade in the street, there'll be like a big pothole there, and like you'll see road crews apparently like
That'll be fucked.
working to fix it. That would, you know, that's something I think Joe said when we asked like, what do you want to see in the next Grand Theft
Are
Auto?
we even talking about like flash flooding and shit like that? Would be a
there
factor?
there was a picture on that site that, or it was in the trailer that me and Vin found in the breakdown, and there's like meters that tell you the water level, and what we suspect, and based off of like some rumors, because they said that there's going to be like natural events. I mean, if you're in Florida, there's hurricanes all the time. And, like, that would be a crazy mission. Like, there's a hurricane hitting, so they take a boat and they, like, freaking rob a jewelry store. You know, like, there's the looting or whatever they can
I'd love
do.
to see like a fucking like twister come through, and you just see like rednecks getting swept up. And
Yeah.
just going, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking shooting at it.
Alligators.
You know,
flying.
there's gonna be like some guy shooting at the storm.
Oh, yeah. Well, they had Phil Cassidy, who was played by Gary Busey. He was voiced by Gary Busey. But it was Phil Cassidy, apparently. He looked young, you know, for being, if he was in Vice City, he was already like in his 40s in Vice City. But, yeah, no, there's gonna be a lot of like wacky Florida man type of shit going on. But
I think that's what's gonna make it so much more
if I can find it.
entertaining, because it's like, you know what kind of people living in Florida.
Oh yeah, a lot of wackos. Probably tell who they voted for too, but yeah. So there was a thing showing the water level. Maybe there's going to be like tidal events. There was constantly like flooding and puddles, because if you go to Florida, it's like always raining.
Oh yeah,
You
and
know?
it's like spontaneous too. It'll be raining, and then like 5 minutes later, it's sunshine, like it never rained.
Yeah,
And it gets so hot that like fucking evaporates everything, and then you get that humid heat. You know.
right. And it seems like they captured all of it, and we could I suppose we could play it. We're probably going to get a DMC.
We're not getting
the fuck
monetized
takedown.
anyway.
Yeah, it's a
Go
long haul.
scratch their asses.
So you guys won't be able to hear it because we're doing this on the Mac, but we did cover this. Always life. There's always birds. In like almost every shot that's outdoors, there's birds. Whether they're flying in the sky or even just like seagulls on the back deck. Birds
in the sky.
So we'll zip through here, and if there's... What you doing up there? So real looking, and I don't know if you could tell here, but the thing that really blew me away, when he's walking in his sandals in the sand, he's kicking up sand, which, you know,
Happens when you wear those. Yeah.
yeah, you know, if you're walking around in the sand, it's like you're constantly like kicking up sand, and they show that. So that was a nice attention to detail, and it sticks to the feet. Birds. Jason's shredded. Jason and Lucia are gonna just like steal the hearts of men and women around the world. And that's how you get a mission. And me and Vin were saying here, like once he goes into this view, like that's where you become him. Like that's, I think, you know, like your first mission. And this is like just the first 10 minutes of the game. It's like a tutorial. But some remarkable things: the translucent glass, the reflection of the glass. Vin pointed this out, but as Jason walks up to
Even
it,
the grain on the wood. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, we'll check out the wood here. Hold
it
on.
looks like it's like, I mean, if you look at it close, anybody that has lived near the ocean or by a beach knows that wood weather is exactly like that by the ocean. Like,
Yeah, Yeah,
Like
the
there's
salt
a
air.
specific look to it. You know, like it's like petrified almost.
Yeah. So, look at the floor. Like just that, like the
You
reflection.
can see the clouds in the fucking sky from the window of the car.
Yeah, the reflection on the window. You're right. So you could see through it, but you also still see
But
the
his
reflection.
watch is also separately reflecting the sun.
Yep. And look at how the sun is like going through like the dirty windshield. You know, like
That's
it
crazy.
catches that little bit of twilight on like the speckles on, because nobody has a clean windshield. But yeah, he's typical GTA things. Here's a song we know is going to be in it, Wang Chung. I mean, it just looks absolutely incredible. The beer bottles is what everybody has picked up on. Vin and I were talking about that at length, just how liquid fills
But
the
just
bottles.
look at the lighting. Like, it looks so natural.
Yeah, this is like, we've all been into a place like this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like we've all walked out of a convenience store, and now, and Vin pointed this out. Look how when she walks through the door at the same time, how she like kind of like turns like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know, whereas in GTA 5 or any other one, like,
Seems like every girl in this game is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
oh yeah,
So
they all
it's
look
like-
good. But like, if this was any other GTA game, like you would bump into them and you know, like
Yeah.
it's a very natural motion.
These shoes are new.
These shoes are new. You better tell him, Mario.
This is my son
I'm
Mario.
out there.
Take it easy.
I hate that woman. So some action. Always birds flying by.
Duval. You might have.
Hot together. I've been blasting this song on repeat every day. She gets out, they immediately have sex.
God.
Which, if you're in prison for a while, they're already going at heists. God, it's such an incredible. Modelo bottles. They can't hear it, but it's such a great song. The Pointer Sisters. Hot together. God, there it is. There that is.
Almighty.
We could be so hot
God bless.
together. So yeah, I mean, this guy here is obviously, I think, clearly going to be like the main villain
Gotcha.
of this game. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. But the way that they're introducing him in the trailer, like he looks like a scumbag cop, pretty much. Like, and he says, you know, us cops, we got to protect each other. And the guy just kind of looks like, you know, like a dirtbag, but he's a cop, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe he has,
He's a dirty cop.
yeah, maybe he has shades of good in him too, you know? Maybe you're rooting for this guy. I don't know, but
Could be another Samuel L. Jackson cop kind of guy.
the combat is going to be incredible. The hand-to-hand combat. The explosions. They're watching stuff on the phones. I know you'd appreciate this too. Instead of the Miami Dolphins, they're the Manatees. Yeah. A lot of them having sex.
My girlfriend looked like that. Would be accurate.
That's Phil Cassidy. Unless, I mean, Vin
Yeah,
was
Phil
saying,
Cassidy was the one with the gun store, right?
yeah, but he still looks young here, so maybe it's his son.
It could be his son.
You know, it's like Phil Jr.
Well, wait, didn't Phil lose his arm?
That's true too. Actually, yeah, you're right, Vin. If you're listening, it's not Phil. It can't be because Phil
lost his
Cassidy is
arm.
missing an arm. Yeah, he blew it off in the moonshine. Well, so Vin was saying that's got to be Phil Jr. Because, like, I mean,
There's no way.
unless they just made like a mascot out of him, and this guy is just dressing up as him or something. But Phil Cassidy was a pivotal character in the Vice City and the Vice City stories, story. So gun stores, and notice the seagulls on the back deck, like hanging out on the railing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's nuts, you know. Beach houses, that's how it is.
It'd be interesting if, like, birds shit on your windshield. Like, you have to, like, clean it and shit.
That would be interesting. One of the shots that really impressed me too, the helicopter, the guy in the helicopter looks absolutely real. Absolutely real. You could keep watching this, you know.
Over and over.
And I have. Too hot. Hot.
It was only my like third or fourth time watching.
We
I know
could
you're
be
crazy,
hot.
but
May 26th.
cocksuckers. But it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah. See, I read it wrong though. I was literally waking up. I was taking my morning routine, and I look at my phone and it says May 26th, and I'm like, holy shit, it's coming this month. I have to request off. And I went to like request off, and then I looked at it again and I saw 2026, and I was like, okay.
Just rip that
But at least we
Band-Aid.
have a date. Just give me a date.
I need a date.
Soon.
Soon.
I can't let you get close. Soon.
but the
I
hype
don't
is
like you,
real,
and I don't
know?
gonna wanna
It's-
like you.
We're really looking forward to this game. I mean, obviously the hype is real. Me, Vin, Lil Joe. I don't know if you did too. Played through the classic games just to
What, GTA?
scratch the itch.
I did it before all you guys. I
Three.
did the,
We played 3. We played Vice City, and we played San Andreas.
yeah, they did the remaster, if
And I
you
think
will.
Vin even, I think on PC ended up playing 4, right?
Yeah, he got 4. I replayed 4 a couple of times. 5, I never replayed the story. I played the story once on 360, and I never felt the need to
Same.
go back. And online, it's just another day in the life. Vince here in the comments.
Vincenzo.
So Vince saying that he called out that he had both arms. I don't remember that. I remember the age point. And he said, "You're mumbling, Rob." You gotta
I'm
speak up."
mumbling.
Yeah.
Help.
His mic's all the way maxed up.
I don't know what to tell you.
We could bring our... You guys are looking at the
Any
screen
closer,
here.
you'll be hearing me breathe.
So let's see. We do have a lot of comments here, though. Got to catch up. I say Sill's in the house.
Hey, so.
Hell's laughed that you mentioned Midnight Club, which is pretty much GTA now. We actually talked about that yesterday. AK in the house. Was that Adam? Oh, yeah. Adam is here.
Officer
What's up, Adam?
Gazinski.
Officer. Didn't the Wii U have a controller that looks like a gun? Said I say so. That's
Well,
what
that's
you
what
were
I was saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I actually have it in
Yeah.
fucking myriad of technology.
And then they like
bullshit.
never did it again.
Yeah, you could put the nunchuck in the handle, and you put the the remote, the Wiimote, into like the top part of the gun, and you can use the. Where that really worked well was when they did the remaster of GoldenEye.
Yeah, that must have been pretty nice. Rob was talking about, oh yeah, so Hell's mentioned it. You already said that. You guys playing GTA 5 or 6 with a female character? I do. I hate watching a dude running around. I mean, that's what we've always had, was you played as a dude. This is, the very first time. And, it's funny because in a lot of games, people will complain like, oh, play as a girl. Fucking play as a girl. Play as a guy. But I don't think anyone's going to be
Playing as a girl in
complaining.
Assassin's Creed, and she kicks fucking ass. So I don't
Yeah.
want to hear shit.
And nobody's going to be complaining about, trotting around as Lucia.
Nobody. If you're complaining,
If you're
about
complaining
Lucia,
about that, then you're not a fan
you're a
of video
fucking
games,
asshole.
and you're a madman. Yeah, you're an asshole. Hell's mentioned the visibility of pets is abundant, or not even just pets, but animals in general. But yeah, I mean, there were pets. They had a pet snake. There was like an iguana, like just running around. There was raccoons. There's turtles. There's birds flying in the sky. There's a lot of shit going on. Hope you can tame animals somehow. That'd be funny. I mean,
I'd like to have like an aquarium
yeah,
in
that'd
your
be.
apartment. If,
Yeah, like you can
fish and
catch
shit.
the fish,
Yeah.
and then because you can snorkel. Imagine you can collect the fish and then take them back to your fish
Fucking
tank.
sick.
That would be sick. That's you got a good idea there. It'd be like a good collectibles that you're like, oh, I caught a zebrafish or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Imagine having a cougar and alligator running alongside you. No, not in this. It's gonna be too realistic. Vin's in the house. He's making his voice heard. See me in the back.
You know, there's going to be a crack lord with tigers, though.
Oh yeah. There's gonna be like a Tiger King type of guy.
Yeah.
Vin's on the road, so he's driving.
On the road again.
Going through tolls and hell and high water. How far of a drive is
Over
that?
the river and through the
New
Yale.
Hampshire.
That's got to be like a 7-hour drive.
Is that north?
Yeah, straight north.
Yeah.
Any higher, you end up in like Maine.
What else has happened in New Hampshire apart from Vin going there? I'm like trying to remember. Like, what are they known for?
They split from Vermont.
Okay.
They were part of the original Vermont.
They don't have
colony.
they don't have the Mount Rushmore. That's like South Dakota or something, right?
Yeah, no, that's out the west.
So what is in New Hampshire?
Vin's mom.
yeah. Maybe I sound like a hoity-toity New Yorker here.
I really,
but I'm like trying to think of what's
I can't
happened.
Think of, it's like Canada Junior, basically.
What
you know?
American, what history, and geopolitically can be attributed to?
Well, that's like I said. The only thing I know is that they used to be part of the original Virginia colony, and then because of political differences, they split, became New Hampshire.
Interesting. We're getting some history here. Hell said, with these publishing monopolies like Microsoft and Sony buying up developers, this may be the last game of its kind. Very apocalyptic outlook, Hells. I disagree. I think we have.
I think GTA specifically is going to stand the test of time, especially considering that they develop their own tech for their games. They're not dependent on some other processor or, like they don't use the Unreal Engine. They have their own proprietary shit. So I don't know. Rockstar's making money hand over fist.
Spending money too.
It would almost make more sense that Rockstar got their own fucking system before that ever happened.
That would be interesting. No rush from anyone higher up. It comes when it's ready, period. So I agree, Hells. It just when it's here, it'll be here, and it'll be absolutely fantastic. But I'm in no rush. I'm trying to think of this Look, I'm Mr. GTA, all right? If anybody it could be called Mr. GTA, it's me. I've played that game more than anybody. Vin's second, because he's definitely put a lot of... He's probably... Still nobody touches Vin's amount of time.
Too.
Joe's up there, too. But, I mean, as far as time online, if you look up the stats, you can't even touch Vin. And in terms of time playing GTA online, especially. And if anybody should be upset about a delay or whatever, it'd be me, but I'm not. Because, it gives me a little bit more time to be the GTA valet.
You can't rush perfection.
You can't. What would really be cool, and Vin said this, he said, GTA Online 2.0 and possible space or medieval game. I would really appreciate if the next Red Dead Redemption, I've said this on the show before, instead of it being a cowboy game, if they gave that a break for one of the games.
No, they'd have to make another title.
They could just make it its own thing. They could. No, I think you really, there's a lot of...
Nobody's going to play Red Dead Medieval.
You think nobody's going to play a medieval
They're going to play it, but you can't call it Red Dead.
I think you could.
No.
It would be a different version. It would be...
Red Dead is a cowboy game. It's known as a cowboy game. It's like saying,
I'm
going to make Uncharted, but it's just going to be different people now.
Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of parallels. Like, as far as the horseplay goes, that's all, that's all the same. You got horses in medieval era. So you would still have the horse. What makes Red Dead special is because it's a timepiece, and because you do have guns in Red Dead.
Call it fucking Squire. Call it something, but don't call it fucking Red Dead.
Call it Red Dead. I don't know. I feel like that it would be a cool twist.
It's just like L.A. Noire has its own thing. All their games have their own timepiece.
Well, so let's say it's not Red Dead. All right. Either way, a
medieval
Rockstar Games game
100%.
would be. Absolutely, because the parodies that they could do, like just of how stupid
I love a fucking
people
mafia, like a true mafia game.
They're making a new mafia game.
I saw the Old Country. That's actually one that I put on that list of 5.
And that's it's only gonna be $50 apparently.
Yeah, it's gonna be $50, and I think it's coming next month, right? Something like that.
Oh, is it?
It's coming soon.
I'm not playing it.
I'm definitely gonna play that shit.
Never played the mafia.
Go back to
games,
Sicily. Come on.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, it's Sicily. No, it's trust me. I watched the gameplay with my father. My father said, "I wish this was a show. I'd watch it."
I mean, you could say the same about Red Dead,
Oh yeah. Well, that was the thing. My father can never play those games because he'd want to sit there and look around and shit, and then people be shooting at him, and he doesn't know how to react.
Yeah. My dad's been playing Grand Theft Auto. It's funny because
that's hilarious.
He wasn't he struggled with the. The pointing and like the movement, but he did get better. And then if he has it on in the living room, either me or my brother or even my niece now, or my other brother will like just grab the controller and like start playing like one of the missions for a little bit.
My niece was playing GTA.
Yeah.
She
It's
said
like
she
a
played
rite of
at a friend's
passage.
house, and I was like, "Oh, my niece is playing GTA now."
Yeah, mine's been playing, and it's
Damn.
like she's like driving around, running people over. I'm like, it's a beautiful thing. I'm proud of her.
So
She's
funny.
doing that. So Hell's asked, but my question is, what's next for Rockstar Games after this? I would
We're going to sit on this
volunteer.
for like 17 years now. So
Well, GTA will be done. We're not gonna get another GTA for at least like 15 years.
we're going to be on our fifth.
being conservative.
There's going to be another one.
There will be another Red Dead, I'm sure, but usually there is more games in a rotation. So you would have.
Where do they go with Red Dead though?
They tell the story of Charles, the Native American dude that was with all of them at the end. I've made this prediction. Let it fucking be recorded and etched in stone here. The next Red Dead Redemption, I believe, won't be a medieval game, even though I think that would be a cool little twist that we would all be happy with. I think it's going to be the story of Charles.
Charles in charge.
Charles is with you when John, what's her name? The chick, not Daisy, Haiti. What's her name? The chick that's with you, Sadie. Yep. John, Sadie, and Charles all go to avenge Arthur, and that's when you take down Micah.
Mm-hmm.
And Charles goes his own way. I think that he is going to be the next protagonist in the next Red Dead game. But normally we would also have a Max Payne game thrown in here. I would love a new Max Payne game. Vin said that he read somewhere that they said that there was no more story to tell with Max. I disagree. I think that they could just keep going. He could just further delve into alcoholism and self-destruction. There's no bottom. There's no bottom of the abyss for how
The only way
far.
that they continue that series is if they kill him.
I don't
at the
want
end of the
that.
game.
I don't want that.
I'm saying it's like
I don't want
you
it.
know,
I'm so tired of seeing my protagonists die. Like
gonna
let
get
him
killed in the
live.
end.
Come on. Just don't stop
I mean,
killing him
how
off.
far are you gonna push his luck before he goes? You know what I mean? It's let him retire.
That's what makes him incredible. Or maybe it's you go back in time to like a special ops
Like a
mission
Jason
that he went
Bourne
on or
game.
something. I mean, the guy who voiced him and did his motion capture, I believe, passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, so especially that. With
So
that,
it would have to be a new
don't
Max
make
Payne,
sense.
which, I'm not.
Max Payne in the ass to do.
But I don't know. The Max Payne games are always incredible, and we were talking about this. These games between GTA, they'll always introduce new features that make their way into the newest version of GTA. The hand-to-hand combat, they evolved in San Andreas, and they involved it in the Warriors. You played the Warriors?
I did.
Really
I have
good
it.
game. Really good game. They improved the hand-to-hand combat in that, and then they added that into Red Dead, and it's going to find its way into GTA. So, I would like to see more games come out. Red Dead's awesome. I wish they, continued to support this one that came out with new content, but
I can't wait to see how the haptic feedback works with the new game.
Oof.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I have a feeling it's gonna really feel right.
And
shooting
Joe,
guns.
if Joe is listening, is fucking crazy because he turns.
he hates the fucking
turns that off.
PlayStation control. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
He doesn't understand the haptic feedback is a game
Doesn't make
changer.
sense.
I don't want the vibrations when I'm shooting. It's like if you shoot a real gun,
Did
there's
he not have the
recoil.
rumble pack and fucking N64? Like, controls have been rumbling since the fucking PlayStation 2.
Yeah. But Max Payne, another Warriors type game, Bully. People have wanted. I never played the
Bully,
Bully
yeah.
games. What else we
I
have?
enjoyed L.A. Noire. I know it got a lot.
L.A.
of
Noire
hate,
was a
but
great
I
game.
liked it a lot.
It was.
People expected it to be like Mafia, I think.
People expected it to be like Grand Theft Auto in the 1940s, but you couldn't like just run people over. You couldn't kill innocent people, which was like automatically like,
But you're a cop, so it makes sense.
right. And the investigative part of it was interesting.
I like the interrogations.
Interrogations. The
questions.
facial captures that they did was like revolutionary. Like that
I
looked
love
like
those memes
real
where it's like
people.
doubtful.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to know the right approach for each person, and
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out. I was
It's interesting. I don't know if you ever played any of the Telltale games.
yeah, I played a Game of Thrones Telltale.
Did you ever play the Wolf Among Us?
No.
That one was pretty good. It was actually based on the fairy tale characters. You play as the big bad wolf. He's called Bigby, and they do a lot of that with the interrogation. Because I don't know if you ever heard of the nursery rhyme with the girl that has a ribbon around her neck and then like if you take the ribbon off and her head falls off, like her head was only attached because of the ribbon. So she gets murdered, and you're interviewing all these different people. Beauty and the Beast on a fucking like hotel together and shit, and like the body was found there, so you're interviewing them. It's really funny.
Weird.
It's really really good game, but it came out around the same time, and it was interesting that they were kind of doing like investigative games at the time.
Does Disney not own the rights to Beauty and the Beast?
They don't own the exclusive rights to the story because
that
it's
story,
public domain. They
that
own
story's
their
like an
version
old
of it.
German story or something.
Yeah,
right?
it's a Brothers Grimm story.
Is
all
it?
that shit. I'm pretty sure all those.
I mean,
Cinderella and fucking all that shit.
It's weird that nobody else has really ever made like a good movie for any of those things that, it's like still always under Disney. A GTA space game would be fucking, or a Rockstar space game would be crazy. Mount Washington skiing Revolutionary War battles is New Hampshire. So there you go. Yao is in the house. Joe said Joe's here now. Here we go. We're gonna get some Joe. I can't wait to see what he says about haptic feedback. I'm gonna take my glasses off for this.
Haptic feedback on
Son of a
PlayStation.
bitch. He said beacon of health. You damn right. And then he said controller is uncomfortable for long sessions. Trash. He's crazy.
That's not true.
It's just that like every one of us is playing long
83
sessions.
hours in fucking Assassin's Creed right now.
He said the shape of the controller. I'm gonna be stuck playing on PS5 for GTA. You pricks. Yeah, well, it's yes. Hey, we'll finally all be able
Unless
to
he wants
play
to play
together
by
online.
himself,
Yeah. Syl says Red Dead also has characters that you connect with, such as Arthur. Yes, absolutely, such as Arthur. Very connected to all the characters.
Goddamn faith, Arthur.
Don't ever call Rockstar, kid. Whatever.
Do me
he
a
said.
favor, kid. Never contact Rockstar.
So Vin said need them to do a couple of smaller games. That'd be nice. I mean, you look at like Bethesda. Bethesda managed to bang out that Indiana Jones game. I don't know how long they were working
came out
on
of
that.
the blue.
It came out of the blue, and it was like it's a big game. You could explore it. It really scratches whatever itch that you might get, but it's still like
You still got to finish it so you can watch the movie.
smaller. Yeah, I know. Well, I want to watch them now because of that. But it's smaller map, so really good game. Vince said nonsense, I think, to what Joe was saying about the controller. We'll always support the offset thumbsticks. So yes, the Xbox thumbstick orientation is nice.
It's kind of funny. When I had the PlayStation 3, I had a third-party Batman controller. It was an Arkham controller. It lit up and shit. And it actually had the Xbox controller layout. So for at least the PS3, I was playing with basically an Xbox controller.
Oh, dude, I've always bought like third-party controllers. Like I had one where you could like pull the plate off of it and then move the modules around, like wherever you wanted. And I'm a lefty, so there were certain games where I would actually flip the left and the right analog stick. But I would always orient it like an Xbox.
I'm a lefty,
controller.
but I've been playing fucking games for so long. They got me.
Yeah, it's hard to change. That's for sure. Man, there used to be so many like cool extensions though. Like I had one controller that just had like fans in it that would like cool your hands. Like there's so many gimmick controllers.
Oh yeah.
I had this one crazy controller on like the 360 days, and it had a screen on it, which was like holy shit, a controller with a screen on it, and you could button map everything to like whatever you wanted. You could change the buttons around. Like I always liked buying those tchotchkes, those gimmicky things. Not like the stupid ones though. Not like the stuff that the Switches come out with. For the most part.
Well, Game Boy was famous for gimmicks too, like the fucking
I mean
flashlight and the screen. You ever see those videos where somebody like plugged every fucking accessory you could put into the Game Boy?
Yeah. It looks like Scorpion.
It's hysterical.
Something. Yeah. I kind of like. I'm not saying I want like too many of those, but I wish there was like you can go to a game store, which is those are all closing now too. Our local GameStop closed. Yeah. But like go in there and like see like cool shit that you'd be like, oh wow, I want to like like a Game Genie, a Game Shark, an Action Replay, any one of the other things that we mentioned, like
now with the
memory
cards,
cards,
all
like
that shit. They kind of did away with cheats in games and.
Yeah, it's very locked down, and it is for the greater good as far as online play goes. But like, how cool would it be if you could load
I
a
used
Game
to love
Shark?
cheating in games. I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, it was like
Sometimes
modding.
it was fun.
It was modding in a sense. I mean, you know, whether it made you invincible or it gave you more of a certain item or, you know, created more, you duplicated things. There was so much cool shit you
Back
could
in
do
the
with
day,
a
there
Game
was
Shark.
passwords and shit you could put in games, and
Yeah.
now
Well,
it's
what was so interesting about like the Game Shark was like you would have to look up hexadecimal codes online because like the Game Shark would come preloaded with a bunch of like cheats and stuff.
Oh, I remember doing it.
But you had to like
Action Replay was the same way.
Action Replay was the same way, and you would look up like these lines of code that you would then go onto the Game Shark.
And then you got to
and
like
put the
pray
code
that the
in.
ones you put in all work together. Cause
Yeah, it would crash the
fucking-
game. You know, more likely than anything, it might cause the game to just crash. But it kind of taught me hex code. You know, at the very
Well, it was
least.
the same thing with what the hell was it? MySpace. People were learning like basic.
That's like the
coding
old
because of,
HTML. Yeah, Vin and I deal with that at work. We when we update certain web pages, we have to like use HTML coding, and nobody knows how to do it. It's all, you know, older ladies. Can we get some help? You know, so we're still using HTML code. But what's this? Joe said boomerang controller concept. Remember that shit? Boomerang controller.
I think it was like shaped like that. Yeah.
What system was that?
I think N64 was it N64 that had that?
Well, N64. I mean, any controller. that controller, as iconic as it
controller
was
like
a fucking mess.
Insane.
3
It had-
handles for 2
you can
hands.
only- yeah, it's
You know, you could only really use one or the other. Like, that was such a weird controller.
like you really had to hold it from the middle and the right. Like you couldn't. There was no point in putting a left handle on that.
Yeah. Joe said the Dreamcast had a screen.
Oh, well, the
Controller,
Dreamcast
right?
did have a screen on the controller.
yeah, but nobody played it.
no, and it was like it didn't add to the. It was like really like just like little graphics of like the characters and shit. I think.
Yeah, little companion.
Part of the game.
Be cool, like if you had like a screen and it showed you like the map. You know, like where the touchpad is on the controller. If it was a screen and like you
You
could
know what was
actually-
nuts was when the Game Boy Advance came out. There was like I had this Kirby game that was like a pinball game, and like you could move the fucking system around and like you moved with the shit.
Mm.
And that was it was interesting. They had that kind of technology even back then.
Drifter Chaos says, "I miss MySpace." Yeah, so do I. Simply.
I wasn't cool enough to have MySpace.
MySpace was cool because when someone went
I
to
didn't
your
have
page,
friends where
music
people
would
had
play.
MySpace.
Yeah, I mean, fucking, you do now though. He said, "Oh yeah, that was like the Dreamcast Tamagotchi thing."
Yeah.
Season 2 of Fallout wrapped up. Fallout was a phenomenal show. I think that was the most faithful
Ella Purnell
video
is
game.
cutie.
Oh my, Ella Purnell, her eyes are like
I saw her in
hard-boiled
person.
eggs.
And I was just like,
Her eyes are insane. They're like so big. They look like eggs. They're
Like
like
eggs.
2 hard-boiled eggs, but they're beautiful. You know.
beautiful hard-boiled
Fucking-
eggs flies.
And that it was just such a good show. I mean, they really nailed it. Amazon has been doing some cool shit.
I wonder if they'll
PS3
do
concept.
whatchamacallit, James Bond, Any Justice. Now that they've bought the rights from the Broccoli family.
Yeah, James Bond hasn't been an interesting.
I mean, the movies have
me.
been pretty good. You know, Daniel Craig I thought was a good Bond.
Yeah, I really can't say. I mean, I don't know why I never felt compelled to watch any of them. Pierce
They're good
Brosnan was the
movies.
best James Bond. Once they replaced
Did
Pierce
you watch
Brosnan,
those movies? The Pierce Brosnan ones?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I played and they all had games too, and I played all those games back in
Tomorrow
the day.
Never Dies.
I wish we had a good GoldenEye type game, a good 007 game. Perfect Dark. I don't know when that's coming out. Joe knows.
I wish they would remaster Nightfire. Nightfire was a really great game.
I haven't heard of that one.
It was a James Bond game that was on the PlayStation 2, PC, and I don't know if it was on. I think it was on GameCube as well. It was around that time,
Yeah,
but it was a really good game. I mean, they have the like you could even have like the laser on the watch can like cut like locks and shit. Took you all
Oh.
over the place, and it even had like a Moonraker kind of ending. You end up on like a fucking space and shit.
Oh, really?
Crazy.
Yeah, I played. I think it was like Tomorrow Never Dies. Maybe it was one of them. But you could like gamble at a casino for a mission, and I would just sit there gambling. I never completed
you like
the
your
mission.
gambling in games.
I like, dude. Pokemon TCG Pocket is like I feel like I'm a degenerate gambler playing this game. I'm like so addicted to trying to get my rank up right now. It's like That's where I'm just.
Have you
sucking
gotten
on
that
this thing.
Rayquaza card for 50?
Yeah, it's not
yet?
even a good card though. Then I know the next deck's gonna be a Rayquaza deck, and we're gonna have to spend $100. Drifter Chaos. It's said that it's the real Rocket Boy, so they changed their name. And yes, we remember you well, the Everywhere game, and I think actually there was like a trailer for the Mind's Eye game as well, which this guy's been talking about, and it's got mixed reviews. But good to see you, Drifter, aka Rocket Boy. More comments here coming through. So, okay, the Boomerang controller was a PS3 concept. It was all about the music. Did someone say Bond? Stephen Bias is here. He said, "Did someone say Bond?" So Bias must be a Bond fan. Who do you think Stephen was the best James Bond? Who's your favorite Bond?
I'm gonna say Sean Connery.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna say that. I mean, Pierce Brosnan. For me, it's by default just because GoldenEye more than anything. Like when I think of James Bond,
Not a big
I'll
fan
always
of
see-
Roger Moore. Not a big fan of Timothy Dalton. George Lazenby had the worst movie of them all, which is Her Secret Service. And Daniel Craig, I think, did a good job. They made good movies. I just didn't like the ending of the last one.
Fair enough. And they said, "Are we talking Bond?" Yeah. So who do you think was the best one?
And I read the Ian Fleming books.
How many are there?
There's 13 original novels.
Oh shit. So what each? Well, you have like GoldenEye, is like each
Exactly. Dr. No, Octopussy, Living Daylights.
How was the
The Man with the Golden Gun.
Octopussy?
Octopussy.
Like, was that meant to be tongue in cheek? Like,
Yeah, what's funny is the guy that wrote them, Ian Fleming, is actually Christopher Lee's cousin.
Huh.
And Christopher Lee, used to say that he was like part of the inspiration for James Bond, but Ian Fleming actually also helped found the FBI. Or was it the CIA, actually?
well, wasn't it the British?
It was the CIA.
Isn't it the
Well,
like
yeah,
the British?
he was with
version
British
of
intelligence, and then the general that actually founded the CIA kind of like met with him, and they were like strategizing how they would create like a intelligence agency kind of thing. But yeah, that stuff was real. He was really in the thick of that shit.
So Joe said Xbox price hike. I don't know why that's like a tongue twister for me. Xbox price hike, no rant.
No rant because I'm not fucking buying it anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Shit.
It's like,
Doesn't affect me. I'm not buying it.
but you know who to thank for the price hikes. And it's not Microsoft.
Cheeto in charge.
You can't blame them for that. But apparently, the consumers don't eat the price of these tariffs, but they
Yeah.
do because things go up in price and we have to buy them if we want them.
Fucking asshole.
So, yeah. Thanks for fucking with the economy.
California pizza chip.
World is not enough. Yeah, Stephen Bias has arrived. But no, I mean, it does suck. It sucks that everything is more expensive. It shouldn't be that
Even
way.
toys are starting to get pulled, like pre-orders and shit, and they're getting relisted as a higher price.
Yeah.
Everything's getting affected. We're winning.
Um,
We're winning. We're back.
Nightfire was so good, says Firebus.
Right.
Front side bus, sorry. Stephen Bias said, "You don't want to be talking Bond with me. I'll scare you." Here's a proposal. We have Stephen Bias as a special guest on the show one of these days, and you and him could just talk about Bond. I mean, how
We could bond over Bond.
you could make a Bond, mini episode or whatever, and just riff on that, because there are people who like James Bond, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't really know anyone else
Like a
besides
dry
you.
martini, shake it, not stirred. We'll get my dad to come on.
Do you know?
He was the original Bond fan.
Do you understand the whole concept of shaken, not stirred?
Why he does it that way?
Why, in general, you're supposed to stir gin instead of shaking it?
Well, you're the bartender. You should know.
I'll tell you. So, gin, which is made with juniper berries, which is what it's made from, which are also in Skyrim, which is why I say that word often. So I knew that would get him. Yao's somewhere giggling to himself. Vin's giggling in the car. They're all smirking because I said juniper berries once, which I fucking... And it was eating juniper berries. It was a little baby buck eating juniper berries. It was an incredible thing to see. You guys are just jealous. There you go. See, I said it. I gave that to you guys. I gave that one to you. I fed you a juniper berry. Gin is made with juniper berries. And used to be very commonplace. Vodka like wasn't really a thing until like the 80s.
Yeah.
And it came over from like, yeah, exactly. It was like a Russian thing. So you're not supposed to, when you make a martini was traditionally made with gin. It's 8 parts gin, or however many parts you want to do, 6, and 1 part or a half part of dry vermouth.
Yep.
Which is another
great. Is what they used in the book.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you about what vermouth.
Gordon's gin and Cure Lillet.
I'll tell you about vermouth is pretty much what happens if between wine and vinegar.
It's very dry.
Yeah, it's like if you let grapes sit long enough, it becomes wine. If they keep sitting, and fermenting, it becomes vermouth.
I made
it
the
becomes
real
more than
with
that.
The actual ingredients, it's fucking terrible.
Oh yeah. Gin
Rocket
tastes
fuel.
Gin tastes awful. But so yeah, vermouth is pretty much like more sour wine in a sense. It's between wine and vinegar. So a traditional martini, 8 parts gin, 1 part dry vermouth. And you could sip on that bottle of vermouth if you want there. Yeah. And then you're not supposed to shake it in your shaker. You're supposed to stir it, because if you shake gin, it bruises it, as they say. And apparently it's kind of like, I guess it's like if you shake seltzer, you're like fucking it up a little bit. Same concept with gin. You're not supposed to shake it. You're supposed to stir it. But James Bond
shakes it
for whatever reason, and I think there was a reason that he does that specifically. But he says, fuck that, shake
I don't
it.
think they ever explain it why he actually does it that way, but he ended up naming it the Vesper.
Oh yeah, okay. I learned that in bartending class. Yeah.
His girlfriend in the Casino Royale was Vesper Lind. So he named the drink after her.
Interesting.
With a lemon zest.
Yep.
Lemon zest.
Yeah, you could do that. People do the olive. I think dirty martinis. Look, I like green olives. Dirty martinis are vile. I don't know how people drink them. It's like drinking acid. It's like drinking agita. Like, it's like asking to. It's just drinking heartburn before it.
I'm not a drinking kind of guy.
I'm not a big drinker either.
Once in a while, I have a beer and stuff, like a barbecue and shit. But I'm not really. I don't seek the drink.
We're more 420 friendly.
Oh yes.
But I do find like the history of alcohol, different types of alcohol to be fascinating. And that's your story for gin. So you're supposed to stir it, not shake it, but for whatever reason he shakes it here.
Likes to shake it up.
Maybe Stephen Bias knows why, because I think Ian Fleming said once like why he does that.
Yeah, but he also did nonsensical shit. He gave him a Walter PPK fucking pistol, and that shit was like tiny for a spy. Like,
well, it's it's low profile.
Yeah, but it's a woman's gun. You know what I mean?
Or spies, they got to keep that shit concealed and slip it out really quick. Pop, pop, pop. That's funny. I didn't. So what caliber shot is that?
What, the Walter PPK?
Yeah.
What is it? 357? No. Hold on.
Probably ask ChatGPT. What's the gun called?
It's a Walter PPK.
What caliber round does a What caliber round does a Walter PPK pistol shoot?
A Walther
32 ACP.
A Walther PPK typically shoots 380 ACP rounds, also known as 9mm Kerrs or 9x17mm.
So similar to like
some models are also chambered in .32 ACP, 7.65, but the 380 ACP is the most common caliber.
Why did James Bond shake his gin martinis and not stir them?
James Bond's preference for shaken, not stirred martinis is iconic, but it's not exactly practical bartending advice.
So
traditionally, martinis are stirred.
All right, yeah, I told them that already. ChatGPT. Tell us why he did it.
Texture and flavor. However, Bond's choice to have it shaken gives the drink a slightly different mouthfeel and a cooler temperature. It also fits his character, standing out, doing things differently, and keeping people guessing.
Fair enough. ChatGPT for the win.
Never let him know your next move.
Yeah.
The drink.
Oh, he's still listening. He said exactly. All right, we got some more comments here. Vin said, let Bethesda do a James Bond game. That would be interesting.
I would love that.
I mean, they nailed Indiana Jones, so I feel like they could nail that, you know.
I would love to see Pierce Brosnan reprise James Bond as a voice in the game.
Imagine they made a new GoldenEye, like just a brand new GoldenEye, like they totally revamped, redid
Bethesda
all the levels.
wouldn't do that, though. Bethesda's about making their own shit.
I mean, Indiana Jones. They did
but
that.
Indiana Jones, that was a completely original story.
It was an original story.
It wasn't like they retold one of the movies. Like I feel like they're above that. But I think that, that would be a fantastic move. Oh, Rockstar with the James Bond fucking game.
I mean, I was gonna say they don't do licensing stuff like that, but that's not true. I mean, they did the Warriors, so such a specific movie to
be the one that they did.
Yeah, really unique. Such a great game. Really, really good game. Steven said, can't wait for a 007 game from IO. Who's that again? IO? It's like Interactive Ops or something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know. Drifter Chaos said, yes, Mind's Eye. It's coming out next month. Pre-ordered it. So I think, I don't remember if that or the Everywhere game was with like Leslie Benzies or like one of the Rockstar guys. He said, no, the most faithful to the novel is Dalton. Novels, excuse me. Who's Dalton? Is that one of the
Timothy Dalton was the third James Bond.
So Steven is
Roger Moore.
He's saying he's the most faithful to the novels.
Well, actually, he was the fourth, because the first was Sean Connery. Then George Lazenby made one movie, and it was a box office failure. It was poor writing. It was called On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Then they gave it to Roger Moore. Roger Moore made a few movies. Then Timothy Dalton was the Bond of like the late 70s, early 80s. And he was basically Bond before Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan took over after Timothy Dalton.
Gotcha. Joe said, Steve, what's your thoughts on the Xbox price hike? So we'll see what he says there. And he said, did Craig die?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Stephen Bias said, Craig had the best writers, but Dalton could have flourished. Connery, Lazenby, and Connery again. Moore, Dalton, Brosnan, Craig. So that's, I think, his
rankings.
His rank in order. Connery, Lazenby, Connery again.
My personal favorite James Bond movie was From Russia with Love.
Steven said, who buys Xbox? He also said, I have signed books. I have all film posters and own all of them on every format. I love Bond, and Fleming helped start the CIA. Drifter Chaos is left.
There's actually a miniseries based on Ian Fleming's life, and he's played by... Do you remember the guy that played Tony Stark's father in the Captain America movie?
No, I didn't see it.
You didn't see the Captain America movie? The first Captain America?
No.
Jesus. I'm trying to think of what else he was in. He played Howard Stark. The guy that played Howard Stark played Ian Fleming. He was also on the show Preacher. He plays Preacher on that TV show Preacher that's based on the graphic novel.
So Vin is telling me that Smirnoff paid Bond to drink vodka instead, but that was later on.
That was only one of the Pierce Brosnan movies.
Yeah, they didn't. For the majority of time, he did drink the Pierre Lillet.
Yeah, it was a publicity stunt thing for Smirnoff.
But to go back to the history of martinis and gin and vodka, in the 80s, gin, I always thought gin tastes like shit. Vin and I, when we bartended, we used to like wipe the bar with gin to like sanitize it, and we'd like clean because when you're working like a 12-hour shift in a kitchen and you're sweating and stuff, like you'd wipe your face with gin to like clean it and like run it through your hair.
Like rubbing alcohol.
It's like rubbing alcohol, yeah, and it smelled kind of nice because of the juniper berries. It had a nice little floral after scent there. So
gin and tonic ain't bad, you know.
Gin and tonic is disgusting. I don't know how anyone tonic water tastes like pool water, and now you're mixing it with gin, so it just tastes like dirty pool water.
I mean, tonic at least has like a sweetness to it.
I don't taste sweetness at all. It tastes bitterness and chlorine. I don't know how people drink tonic. It's absolutely disgusting to me. Good Tom Collins, however.
Tom Collins.
Now, in the 80s, though, vodka pretty much like blew up and supplanted gin for the most part in most drinks. And, you get a vodka tonic instead. And in martinis now, they're usually these days made with vodka and still with some vermouth. So vodka you can shake. It's okay to shake. So if you want to be a dick nowadays, you would get a vodka martini, but you would ask for it stirred, not shaken. That'd be like the inverse Bond drink that you can get.
That'd be the Felix Leiter drink.
Stephen Bias said, I'm to Bond what Joe is to Destiny. So that's interesting. And Destiny 2 is announced, and Destiny sucks. So I'm curious, Joe. We'll get Joe's thoughts on Destiny 2 next week if he's going to get it or whatever. I'm guessing he will because he put so much time into it.
There's new content for Destiny 2?
I think, I don't think there was Destiny 2. I think the new Destiny 2 is coming out.
I thought Destiny 2 was what this been this whole time.
I don't know. I thought so too. I can't keep up. Fuck Destiny.
No, Destiny 2 has been out this whole time. It's got to be a new DLC.
Oh, maybe it's just a DLC. I don't know. Can you clarify that for us, Joe?
I can swear Destiny 2 has been like, well, yeah.
Well, they always had
they
had like
Destiny,
DLCs and like the banners and
it was
shit.
a Destiny 2, and then because I remember playing Destiny 2, and I started it, and I'm like, this is the same fucking beginning as Destiny 1. Like you start off as the dead guy gets
Yeah.
and the fucking ghost is there.
No Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
Vin said Bond was really the first to order a vodka martini because Smirnoff paid a ton of money. So that Bond, I guess, was a pivotal part in people switching to vodka martinis because of that endorsement. Joe said sipping on gin and juice. Vin said sipping on vermouth.
Vermouth sucks.
That's like an inside joke with us as bartenders that has lasted the test of time. Is like, if you want to be an asshole, you get somebody a bottle of vermouth. It'll last them forever.
Oh, yeah.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
I might still have the bottle of vermouth I bought like when my dad and I tried the fucking martini like 10 years ago.
Yeah, you never, because you're putting so little amount of it, and the more dry you get a martini, it's just less vermouth.
We got the Kira Lillet. Like I was fucking looking around. I went to the brands that he used, and I was super into it. I read those books when I was in high school.
Yeah,
they were good though. They were really good books, and the books are different than the movies. So like even if you saw all the movies, the books are better.
As they often are. I wonder how the audiobooks are.
I don't know.
You know what? Speaking of which,
they're not long books either.
We do have some people in the chat here, so we'll play a little chat game for anybody that's interested. Whoever is first to guess the number from 1 to 50 will get a free Audible audio book, courtesy of your boy.
Add the James Bond books to the list of
James Bond books. So the only rule, first of all, you can't say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't go in ascending order like that. You got to choose random numbers. And the only rule is, 1, you have to give me your email so that I can send you the book for free with an Audible credit. But it's got to be a book that we have discussed on the show. So that would cover any of the Game of Thrones books, any of the James Bond books now, any of the Halo books, Star Wars, Extended Universe books, Lord of the Rings. Anything fantasy, any wrestling related book, JR's book, or Hogan's book, if you really want that.
Walton Goggins books, so listen to both of those.
David Goggins?
Yeah.
Walton Goggins coming out with a book.
Get me mixed up. Yeah.
David Goggins.
David Goggins books were really good.
I don't believe that guy. I got shin splints.
What do you mean?
I hear this guy's running with like broken kneecaps that are bleeding.
Have you fucking seen the pictures?
No, but
I've seen the
you
pictures.
can't run when your feet are that fucked up.
You can't fake those pictures, man. It's like his feet were fucked up.
They faked the moon landing, you guys think,
but the guy still has fucking toes.
That's what I'm saying. If I get shin splints, I can't run. I can't believe
on broken legs, for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
he's like the definition of mind over matter.
I'm not saying he can't beat my ass, but I'm calling bullshit on that.
I mean,
you can't run
to like
through that.
Not being able to finish shit. Like there was like 2 times that like he had to bail on the race because he was like fucking like gonna die.
All right. Well, as long as
it's not like he's like
you guys
Superman
talk about him like he's
time.
fucking invincible and he's running on stumps.
But it's like he's way more invincible than the average man. It's like the average man would have been like, "Fuck this! I'm not getting off the couch."
All right,
that guy's in the middle of a fucking jungle trying to prove it wrong. You know, it's like what?
We got some numbers in the chat. Nobody has guessed it yet. I'm gonna whisper it in your ear, Rob, if I may. All right. Hopefully that wasn't just picked up on the mic. If
Everybody,
somebody says the
everybody got
number,
it now,
if somebody says the number, then it means they just picked
then
it
they
up
just
on the
picked
mic
it up
here.
and they win. That's it. You were the first. To win.
Still got a lot of comments here. So Stephen Bias though has an extensive collection. He said all the film posters, all you guys, the movies on all formats. Continuing, where were we? I'm here for the I'm here to hear the GTA love. I was floored by the trailer, like blown away completely. We did cover that earlier in the episode, and also Vin and I we just posted it today. Did an extensive frame by frame autopsy on that trailer, and as we mentioned, it was actually really. It was helpful. I would say listen to it because there's a lot of things I didn't realize. Vin pointed out to me. There are things that I pointed out to him. And I watched that trailer 20 times, and I still missed some of these things. So if you want a good breakdown on that trailer and just for us to gush, I would highly recommend checking out that video or earlier in the episode. Vin said, say no more, Steven. Also check out our video breakdown. There you go. Check out the breakdown. Joe mentioned the beer has bubbles. Drifter Chaos said, I quit drinking almost 2 years ago now on July 1st. Fuck yeah, dude. You know, you're better off. I mean, you know, it just makes you feel like shit, ultimately. Maybe it makes you feel good for a little while, but anytime I drink, I just feel like shit the next day. Vin said, there's a screenshot of beer spilling into a pool, and you can see the bubbles still. Joe said, I can't wait to surf. Aerate the drink.
Surfing, yeah, that'll be something.
IO makes Hitman games. That's right. Isn't it Interactive Ops? Isn't that what it stands for?
I don't know.
That would be pretty cool. Hitman. I mean, it would be so similar. Steven said, Bond game is being made by IO Interactive, the Hitman people. It comes out next year.
Interesting.
Shit. I didn't know that.
They made it from Russia with Love game on the PlayStation 2, and that was pretty good too.
IO Interactive is making 007 and Mind's Eye, and also a fantasy game too. So I guess they're a big studio. I'm trying to remember like what other big games they had. I'm sure they'll tell us. Jaws was my favorite henchman, said Selig.
Yeah, Jaws was the one that you ever see Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
Remember the giant guy?
Yeah.
He played with Bond villain.
Oh yeah, what does he say? He's like,
Jaws.
"Hey," what does he say at the end when he like gets him? He's like, "Let's get that guy" or something. What does he say?
Fuck, I don't remember.
He's like leading the charge like this giant to beat the shit out of Shooter McGavin. Yeah. Or what does he do? Like Shooter like
he got the ball ends up on his foot, right?
yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy
and he's
off
like
his
just
foot.
mean mugging him. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my
he had
God.
like golden teeth in a movie,
Oh yeah.
and they called him Jaws. Yeah, that was one of the movies.
That's so funny. Steven said, I listed the actors. Sorry. Rob, my favorite book and film is From Russia with Love.
That's mine too.
I need to show up there and bring my memorabilia. I own so much stuff, which I mean is a big part of our show is the collectibles and all of that stuff. So, dude, we'd love to have you on here. We know
I even
you
have the little
Joe's
Aston
cousin.
Martin that he had in the Casino Royale movie. There was a Hot Wheels that came with the DVD.
This dog is sound asleep. It's the cutest
I
thing.
know he loves me.
He's totally closed. Yeah, no, hey, Steven, we'd love to have you. You're Joe's family, and you know, as far as collectibles go, even if you're wrong some of the times, it's all right. You know, I'm just fucking with you. Steven's always like, you know, I disagree with Chris on everything, but I finally agree with him. But he said that like 6 times, so I think we agree on a lot actually. Somebody got the number. No, nobody got the. Selig, you win, Selig Rivek. You have won the book. The number was 43. Sorry, we're still going through these comments here, but Selig, you win the free Audible audio book. I would say you don't have to share your email here in the comments, but you can, I guess, DM us on Instagram with your email if you have Instagram. If you don't, let us know. We can give you our break room email. But congratulations, Selig Rivek. You win. Let me know if I'm mispronouncing that, by the way. And what book are you going to go with? I mean, you could tell us later, but think about that for a little bit. Any of the Game of Thrones books, wrestling books, Bond books, any of the stuff that we've ever covered on this show, you know, we're not getting you like Chelsea Handler's latest book. You know, we're getting you, not that you're going to ask for it. We're getting you something that's related to the dogma of what our show is. So collectibles, fantasy, science fiction, all that fun stuff. Let us know what book you are going to grab, brother, and we will send that your way. Congratulations, Selig. Drifter said, yes, Leslie Benzies owns Build a Rocket Boy, who is building Everywhere and Mind's Eye. So that's the studio's Build a Rocket Boy. And they're making Everywhere and Mind's Eye, but he partnered with IO Interactive with Mind's Eye. Leslie is a legend. Yeah, Leslie Benzies was one of the original founders, or I forget his exact title, executive producer or whatever it was. But Leslie Benzies, you'll see his name in every Grand Theft Auto game, except for now, because now he's not part of Rockstar Games anymore. I think he left.
He just left, right?
He was either pushed out or he left. I forget exactly. I think even the Housers, one of the Housers, it was Dan and Sam Hauser and Leslie Benzies. They were like the three. And I think they're all out, or one of them might still be in there. But DLC Star Wars themed.
Look at how content this dog is.
He's full of sleep. He's living it up right now. And then he's nuzzling with his nose. Sil said, I got too many books to read, but we'll play for fun. Yeah, well, audiobooks are easier to get through, you know. Vin said, I can't run like David Goggins when your mind is not as strong as David Goggins. Yeah, well, he duct taped his shins. He's a maniac. I mean, it doesn't matter how much duct tape I put on my shins. It's not going to make my shin splints feel any better. But, hey, you know, I'm not going to try to take away from the guy. I'm just stirring the shit right now.
I mean, the guy survived fucking Navy SEAL training and Army Ranger school, so.
Yeah, he's a hell of a lot more badass than me, you know. Stephen Bias said 304 Monsters by Stephen Bias. And Joe said, yes, by Steve's book. So Stephen has a book, 304 Monsters. You guys should definitely check that out. Comes out on audiobook October 11th. So you know what we'll do is when we do our October show, we will gift that book to whoever wins the game of the day. So congrats again, Selig. It's not about me. This is about the best pod on YouTube. Well, hey, you know, we're only doing this because you guys are here to, you know, hang out and offer context and additional information and you know, opinions and shit throwing from time to time. So that's what makes doing this live fun. We should have done the GTA trailer breakdown live, but we were a little afraid it was going to crash with my computer. Drifter clarified that Sam Hauser is still there. He runs Rockstar now, but Dan Hauser is no longer there. So at least the original guys. Look at this dog. Look at this. He's literally smiling. He's literally smiling. He's like licking his lips and then he'll smile. So I mean, yeah, video games. There's a lot of meat on the bone. Rob's gonna finish up Assassin's Creed. I'm gonna be playing Oblivion. I would love to make some more Minecraft stuff for my burgeoning Instagram page here, but Oblivion has just been too fun. I mean, I've said it already, but when I first turned it on and the intro music played, it's like, you know when you turn on Skyrim and you hear the Skyrim music?
Yeah.
You have that in Oblivion, but it's like the Skyrim song is a variation of the Oblivion song, like the Imperial anthem, if you will. But when I turned that on, man, my goosebumps were like it was insane how big my goosebumps. I felt like, you know, when The Rock comes out.
I was gonna platinum the game before I even started.
He's blasting through the game, but that's what Joe does. He plays the shit out of the game. He just totally sates all of his lusts upon the game and then throws it away and never plays it again, and then tells you stupid for still playing it. But, you know, I'm glad Joe's enjoying Oblivion. We all are. Dan Hauser apparently has a new company, Absurd Ventures. Interesting. I think that covers all the gaming stuff and most of what we wanted to discuss.
Now, next weekend, I'm going to be at the Cradle of Aviation Museum for CradleCon, so that's the next real-life Peter Griffin appearance.
Is that like a plane-focused con? Or
No, it's a regular Comic-Con, but it's held at that museum.
Gotcha.
As the venue. But yeah, it's gonna be. I haven't been to CradleCon in years, so this will be a good time.
Yeah.
And trying to think, I have the Head Stash Ball coming up in the beginning of June. I think June 5th. And Garden State Comic Fest will be at the end of June. So yeah, I've got some stuff coming up.
Got yourself a gig.
Got yourself a gig.
We'd be remiss if we didn't mention there's a new pope. I mean,
There's
that's
a new pope.
kind of interesting, right? Fucking.
And the guy's from Chicago, and his name is Robert.
I can't like imagine a pope speaking in American English. You know, like I always just imagine like this little
it's never
German
been,
or
they never had an American
Italian
pope.
guy. Who was it before? Fuck, I don't even remember the last one's name now. Francis was like the one I always remembered because like when I was born it was Francis and he was pope forever, right?
Pope John Paul II was your pope when you were born.
The last one was Francis, right?
Yeah.
Who's the one in between that we had for like a year or two and then they got like they
The one that looked like
retired.
the emperor. I forget his name.
Yeah. There was like an interim pope that
Yeah,
like
yeah,
stepped
yeah.
down or whatever for Francis. Francis was a good pope.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
He seemed like a decent guy, man. I saw some videos just of like this little kid that asked him like if his dad went to heaven because he was an atheist, and he was like, yes. And it's like that's what you want a pope to say. You don't want to be like, nope, your dad's burning in hell. He didn't believe. Fuck you, kid.
It's,
Cry.
it's a sin.
You know, like he held the kid, he hugged him, he told his story to the crowd with his permission. Like he was a guy with
He wasn't
compassion.
openly hateful to gay people.
Yeah, he was a little bit more.
As for small things, it's like it's just ironic. I'm not going to get into a whole religious debate, but it's just kind of funny how the people that claim to follow Christ are like the least Christly people.
I mean, absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see, if there's any weird political ramifications.
I know that the new pope is not a fan of the current oligarchy. So.
Well said. Yeah, I mean, like, can you imagine like the Pope arguing with the president? We don't talk politics on here very much, except for when we allow ourselves these small indulgences. I mean, I think we could all agree that there is an oligarchy running our country, but that's as woke or whatever you want to call it as will go. But yeah, fuck politics. But it would be interesting to see what happens. An American Pope. Who would have ever thought? Wasn't that like a movie, American Pope?
Was it? I don't know. Sounds like some kind of bullshit movie.
Yeah. They'll probably make it one.
All I know is I still have Joey. And that makes me happy.
Yeah. Joey's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
Hell yeah. So I think that about covers Pope Benedict.
Pope Benedict
Was the
was
only
guy
pope
between-
to ever quit.
Yeah.
What a crock, he says. What a crock.
Right.
What do you mean a crock? I mean,
And you know what he did? He changed the mass and then bounced.
oh, what? What is that when
When they
they?
changed all the responses at the mass.
You know that shit. I was never a
That
church
was him,
person.
Benedict.
Really?
Because you know what it was? Apparently, it was mistranslated. So the mass that we knew was actually wrong. The one that he changed it to was more closely translated to the original words of the mass. Because in my mother and father's day, when you went to church, they were saying that shit in Latin, and you had no idea what the fuck they were saying all mass long.
Yeah,
And
Dominus
they changed
Dominus.
it,
But
If it is Spiritus Sancto.
no, I mean I'm sure there's probably a reason he quit. It's church. I always struggled at
But I
church.
was annoyed because it's like I grew up with that. That was my time in the church. And
That's
then
the only thing I
when
knew.
I go back, it's like now it's like I don't know the fucking responses. I
That-
feel like an asshole.
Exactly. That's the only thing I knew. I never understood any of the chants. And people will just break out in a song and they know the words. I don't know any of the shit. But the only thing I did know was, and let may the force be with you and also with you.
Yeah, it's not even also with you. Now it's with
And
your
with
spirit.
your spirit. I can't do that. It's not,
No.
it doesn't work for
It's
me,
also
brother.
with you.
Yeah, and also with you. That was the only thing I knew, that when they broke into all these like monotonous chants, and also with you. Can't even do that anymore.
Right, Joey? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
How can they change it? I want one mass where they say all the old ways. That'll make me happy.
The Pope migrated from Peru 40 years ago to Chicago. So are we saying he's not American born?
So he's a Peruvian guy?
Interesting. I mean, I saw the guy's brother, like, they did an interview with his brother, and he was like a regular, he was like, yeah, I
He
can't
was
believe
saying
it.
that he's like a Red Sox, White Sox fan. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So hey, new pope, that'll be interesting.
Ooh,
You know, hopefully there's a world that still tomorrow everything's not
tomorrow
burning,
never
but
dies.
tomorrow never dies. From Russia with nukes, I guess would be what it would be.
Yeah.
But hey, it's been a fun episode. We appreciate you guys tuning in as always. It was good catching up with all y'all in the comments. And
If you guys are new to the show, please, thank you so much, number one, for joining us. If you haven't already, hit that follow and that subscribe button. Hopefully next week we'll be back with a full deck. But for now, this has been the Break Room Podcast. Snoochie Boochies, and may the force be with you.
3, 2, 1.
Woo! Oh, show! Oh,
Titus
my
O'Neil.
God, you kicking table and the computer just shook. That is, no one was mad that you cut the whole. You can go anywhere.
Do I do with that?
Yeah, and the macho madness and the Hulkamania.
On top of that, you're the best wrestler of all time. So I absolutely adore you.
For being the cream of the crop, yeah.
Let's go!
Fucking idiot, you have no idea what you're fucking talking about.
God.
They were saying Sony apparently said that the PlayStation 5. You fucking suckers! Is that the end of it?
Or every pixel of the game engine into the face. Can't say that. Dallas.
What did you know? And that's like part of my Christmas